Hey Rebels, it's been a little while since I made a tutorial, so I thought I would share with you how to on the headband that I just made a few minutes ago. As you may have read in my previous post, I spent a lot of time today cleaning up my closet and just kind of simplifying and decluttering everything that I've got. I have hordes and hordes of stuff. And so part of my plan was to kind of simplify and just keep the things that I typically only wear anyway, and then a couple of key pieces just to keep things interesting, and then to accessorize. So using brightly colored items kind of helps keep your wardrobe simple, and then you can kind of boost it up a little bit. So this is kind of it's kind of gypsy-ish. I like wearing big hoop earrings when I have my hair pulled back like this, but headbands like this help me with growing up my hair, which I'm trying to do right now, to just kind of keep it back, and I can make it real big and kind of tease it up, and it just kind of helps to keep things interesting a little bit. So basically this material came from a skirt that I used for another project, and these were pieces of the waistband. So immediately it caught my attention because it's already finished. And a lot of times it's those kind of finishing details that take the longest on simple projects. So in the case though that you don't have something that's finished, you just have a scrap piece of fabric. This one was probably 6 inches wide and it's about 18 inches long. It's folded right sides together, sewn down the loose edge, and then folded right sides back out and ironed. So all the steps are done then with this when you find pieces like this. So 18 inches is a good length for me. I don't have to do anything to it because basically it comes around far enough that the place where any sort of elastic or attachment will be in the back is mainly hidden. It's not like it's way up here at your temples and it's really obvious that you just have this little like chunk of fabric on the top of your head. And I have some of the suspender elastic that I used for the bow belt a couple posts ago left over, and I'm only going to need about 4 inches or so out of this, so you'll be able to use this a few more times. But you can just kind of feel around, add it up to the material if you have to, but you'll kind of feel where the material came and then just kind of feel around where that is and give that a snip. So the thing that is going to be the most easy in this project is basically, since everything's finished already, you're just going to tuck in the raw edges, and if you like to, it does make it easier than if you iron those in. Then you have a really clean, finished edge. So let me do that. So now that you have your ironing done, take your elastic. Some of them are obvious, like what side is the right side or wrong side, but most of the time it doesn't matter, and it's going to be hidden anyway. So and the way that I did this one to kind of finish it nicely is I slid it in between, in the little pocket there of my fabric tube. Slid it in between there with a good amount, half an inch or so in there, so I can secure it nicely when I sew it, right in the middle. And then I used a kind of a box pleat technique where I just pushed, I don't know if you can see that, pushed the fabric so that it the edges met up there, and then folded those little flaps over, so you kind of you've pinched the front and the back fabrics together then. And then did it on the other side, just kind of push it so it opens up and it snugs up against the elastic, and then push the extra flaps back over towards the outside. So now what you have is equal amounts for the elastic and the fabric. a nice little box pleat there to finish it off, and all your fabric tucked in underneath. So it can be kind of hard to hold it all, so it does help to have some pins nearby so that when you have it you can pin your edges. Do that to both ends, and then take it to your machine. You do have a lot of bulk here, so I recommend hand starting, like using your crank turn with your hand to kind of get a couple of stitches in there. Watch out for your pins, you don't want to sew over those, but just kind of take it easy and slow, and stitch over it a couple of times so that you have that 1/2 inch of elastic that's tucked in there, nicely secured, and you got it. Okay, finished. So basically what I did when I got to the machine was I slid it all the way in so that I was the furthest towards the end of the elastic that's inside there. And I just did a stitch and then turned and came up and came over, and then turned and came up and came over again, so that it was nicely secured and then kind of neatly done. So both sides are finished, and you have a lovely headband that was easy breezy. So if you have any questions about this, please feel free to email me at refindrebel@gmail.com. My comments on the blog are struggling at the moment, so if you do have a comment, you can post that under the video on Vimeo. So I do get comments there if you have one. So I'd love to see what you make, and have a great night.